Hello, and a very warm welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, the Spanish government plans to introduce a tax of up to 100% on real estate purchased by non residents from countries outside the European Union. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez called the planned 100% tax on real estate unprecedented. And I think we can all agree on that one. He said that in 2023, citizens of countries outside the European Union purchased about 27,000 houses and apartments in Spain, and they did not intend to live in them or for their families to have a place to live, but for speculation to make money on them, which we, in the context of housing shortages, obviously cannot allow. Now, the first question I would ask Pedro Sanchez is why the government has not been building enough homes. The next question I would ask the Spanish government is why, in the last 3 years alone, have you let in nearly 1.5 million immigrants and made the housing situation so much worse in Spain? Remember, too, that many of these people outside the EU are purchasing €500,000 properties, and sometimes at the very expensive end, and quite often in the countryside. So they're not affecting the local market. What is probably affecting the local market more, I believe, is that not enough housing is being built in Spain. And there's plenty of land to build housing in Spain. Perhaps it could be justified in cities like Madrid, where there's more, it's a more highly densely populated area of Spain, but not on the coasts. Now, the Prime Minister also said that the rules for renting housing will be tightened and taxes paid by owners of such properties will be increased. Now, my response to this is that non EU residents are already paying rental income tax at a rate of 24%. And not only that, there are no deductions, so taxes can be very, very, very high. And the net rental income is, in general, in Spain, quite low. Now, my take on this is that there is a good chance that this proposal will not become law. And I think it is being done for the purposes of scaring foreign property investors by creating uncertainty. Let's remember, in Spain, there is a minority government, so it's going to be very difficult to get this through Congress. I also think it will be debated for quite a while. So if you are in the process of buying a property in Spain, or you intend to buy over the next few months or so, it will not affect you. Another important point, and the way I understand it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that transfer tax is not decided at national government level, but rather by regional governments of Spain, of which there are 17. So, for example, transfer tax in Andalusia is 7%, whereas in the Valencian community, where you have the city of Alicante, it's 10%. In Catalonia, it's 10%, and in Murcia, 8%. So it does vary across the regions. And now the transfer tax can only be applied to existing properties. So for new properties, new properties are actually subject to a rate of 10%, which is actually decided at a national level. So could we have a situation where new properties are subject to a rate of tax of 100% decided at the government level, and existing properties in certain regions taxed at, let's say, 10% or less? There's a lot of clarification needed, and I am sure this will be debated for many months ahead. Now, Canada was mentioned as a country that banned foreign buyers, but for any Canadians watching, did this improve your situation? Has Canada improved when it comes to affordability? Now, what I will say is that Pedro Sanchez could be justified doing this in highly densely populated areas of Spain. So, in central parts of Madrid, perhaps this could be justified. Now, in the UK, they have made it much more expensive for foreigners to buy property in the UK. They have also put measures in place to make it much less attractive to be a landlord. Now, has this improved the situation? I think the answer is no, as it's now much more expensive to rent in the UK and it's as difficult as ever to buy a property in the UK. The main problem is that not enough homes are being built in the UK and immigration figures are very high. So we are talking in the UK net migration of nearly a million a year. And Spain, I think, is suffering from similar problems. So I do believe the main problems with housing shortages are due to not enough properties being built in either Spain or I'll use another example, the UK, and also very high net migration. I'm not against net migration. Please do not put negative comments about that. Um, but you actually need to provide the housing to go along with it. Now, another thing I want to say is that please don't panic because there are other countries to buy in. Should the worst come to the worst, there are many other countries to buy in, such as Italy, Greece, Portugal, Albania, and so many more. And I actually still plan to make a video on the top 10 places to buy real estate in Spain for the year 2025, because I do believe this has a good chance of not getting through. And even if it does, it's going to take a long time. And I think there are going to be a lot of modifications, and already a lot of realtors, opposition have stated that they really are against this policy. Now, another question I want to ask you, the viewers: has this put you off buying property in Spain? As I've already stated, Spain is a lifestyle purchase rather than an investment opportunity when it comes to real estate. So never look at Spain as a place where you're going to make a hell of a lot of money if you're buying a property, in particular if you're coming from a non-EU EEA country, because the rental income tax is very, very high. But taxes in Spain are generally high anyway. Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Please let me know what you think. Is the government right to do this? Will it go through? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I shall see you soon on the next video.